There's a reason why it doesn't always work out for people, why they go after their dreams and they quit their job and they, go travel the world and they follow the joy and the curiosity, but they don't make money. And then they have to go back to the matrix, to the hamster wheel. Also, hello. We're blonde. We're very, 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 very blonde. Blonder than I thought. But it is what it is, and it's something that I wanted. I was blonde for a lot of my adult life, except during my healing journey. And when I moved to Mexico, I dyed my hair brown. And when I moved to Italy, here in Italy, I dyed my hair brown just to kind of be a little more incognito. But incognito? Yeah. But I just missed it. And so it is quite an adjustment. I keep looking at myself like, what have I done? But we'll get used to it. We'll adjust, and it just feels lighter and brighter and more like me in this season, even though it's very overcast today. We are standing underneath my soon-to-be roof. The van is over there. This will be an A-frame. The A-frame will be right there, like in the center that way, and the apex. And then over here where the tarp is, that's where the glamping tent is gonna go. And so the glamping tent's actually pretty big. It's 4 meters by 6 meters. I don't know the conversion, I just know that it's that in meters. And then I also have like a little thingy that I got to go over it to protect it from the conditions. It's an all seasons tent, but apparently we just found out that it's not able to be left out every single day of the year, even though it's meant for all seasons. A little chill. So anyway, it'll be covered. And then inside will be a yoga studio, sound bath room, chill room. I'll probably put a bed right there. There's a really nice fireplace that that came with it. My friend who lived here, one of the girls who lived here, was going to live here. She bought the whole thing to be right here, and then she ended up leaving, so I bought it from her. And then I have like a little kitchen setup area too that will go there, and maybe some seats. And then right here will be outdoor seating area with like pallet furniture and stuff, and my fireplace, which is over there, which I accidentally ran over, and then someone on the farm also ran it over. It was quite the day. This wood is kind of getting ruined out here. This wood is meant to be, it's holding it together for now because we can't cement the ground yet while it's wet, but this wood is meant to be for my fence. So we're gonna build a fence all the way around here, which is great because last night I got back from Florence. I went to Florence to get my hair done, and I can't believe this, I'm still in shock. When I was in my outdoor shower, which I have around the corner over there, I heard something and I thought it was a human, so I like looked outside and I didn't see anybody, and so I just continued on showering. And then I got in my van, and apparently the roosters over there started going crazy, and roosters are really good at alerting when there's danger. And then Zima, the dog who lives with me, who's the top bitch of the farm, she's also like the guardian of the farm, she started going crazy. And so then we're like, oh, something's happening. We're all messaging. And then there was, apparently I didn't hear it, but there was like a large boom, like 3 booms, like something exploded. So everyone's trying to call me, but I didn't have service. The Wi-Fi was down for a sec. And so then when I got on the phone, they're like, can you go out and check the horses over here in zone 3? So I got out, was checking them. And as soon as I got out from my van, like stepped out, closed my door, something started growling at me. And I thought for sure I made it all up. I was like, no way. But I ran back in my van, closed the door, and I was like, I made it up, right? Because we were all freaking out about the roosters and Dima. I was like, for sure, it's not a thing. And then I went back out and I grabbed a stick. Put a photo here. I'm in my pajamas in flip-flops, walking through the mud with a stick. And I go check on the horses, and they're fine. And then I get back to my van. As I'm like standing right outside my van, I hear something move right where the growl was. I was like, oh my God, I ran inside again. I was like, okay, I really think I heard something that time. And then I decided to tell the group. And so a lot of the guys came over here and were searching for what it was, and they saw 4 eyes, so 2 creatures, and they followed them till they got off the property. And then this morning they went back and looked, and there were wolf tracks. So it was a wolf standing like a foot away, a meter away from my shower when I was showering. And it's a shower tent. Like, I'll build a more proper outdoor shower once I'm over here. But and then like the growling, it was like from here to that pole away from me, if you can see. And so that was quite the experience. And then the neighbors also caught 4 wolves last night on their camera because they have sheep up the hill. So there were for sure wolves. It seems like one wolf stayed with me and was scouting out my area, and then the other one maybe went over that way towards the roosters and everything, and was scouting out over there because there's prints over there as well, and the roosters were sounding, even though they can sense like up to like 100 meters or even further away if there's danger. It was that way. So I think they've been scouting out this area. So that's why we're hoping for these Kangal puppies to be born. I'll keep one to be my own little guardian, my own little love, and then we'll have the rest of them on the farm guarding. The reason why we don't have our current Kangals out all the time is because they're not cat safe. So I want, obviously for me, I want Duchess to be safe. Duchess is my cat. She's my cat. She like adopted me when she got here 6 months ago now. We got a bunch. We got like 13 cats from southern Italy, from a bad situation is all I know. And then immediately she just like moved herself into my van. So I think I have a cat. Anyway, I have to protect her. So we need Kangals that can protect the land, but also not eat the cats. And I've been messaging. This is just a catch up, I guess, but also we're going to get into the video. Messaging with some people from the dating apps. It's just nice to meet people. I changed it over when I was in Florence. I was reminiscing on some dates I went on when I was in Florence a year ago, and I never actually went on any dates this time, but it's just nice to get out in the world again. And I think something has been shifting within me. And what's interesting is I usually wear bracelets for like a very long time. Like I'll have like a bracelet that I get from someone or from something. I had this bracelet from Bali that I got like a little bit over a year ago and was told that it was for protection on the island. And I was the only one who wore it out of my friends, and I was the only one who like didn't end up in a wheelchair in the airport on the way home. My 2 friends were destroyed from the island. It's a very intense island. But anyway, it just broke right before my hair appointment. And usually what that has always meant is when it breaks, it's like the end of a cycle, like something has ended. And so I felt that shift within myself too. And I feel like myself kind of like spreading my wings again. And I've talked a little bit about that recently on here, that I could feel that approaching, but it really does feel like that now. And I started listening to some of my favorite podcasts on the way back from Florence. And I was just very confronted, I think it's interesting being out here in like such a unique environment with so many different cultures and so many different wonderful people. And a part of me misses being in California, where I had a lot of like-minded individuals. But also I know that that's not completely like the path that I need to be on right now. I do think that we've become a product of the people that we're surrounded by, like the top 5 people that we surround ourselves with, but we're also very much in control. So I think where I'm going with that is I'm feeling like maybe for the past few months I've become more of a product of my environment, and I think I had to do that to go through a lot of shadow work. And now I'm feeling more on top of all of that, like more me than ever before, which is beautiful. And it only could be possible through going through the darkness and making my way through. And with my therapist, we were talking about, and she could feel this with me. And it was like very much what I could see is like I've been like coming through the bottleneck of like like the shape of a wine bottle, but like squeezing through, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel I've been coming through. And someone's walking over here, so I'm gonna walk away so they don't come interrupt. But yeah, so I feel like I'm being reborn, like I have almost made my way out of the bottleneck. But what's also interesting is that like my neck and my head, that's like where all the pressure and tension has been for years and years. It's like what took me on this spiritual journey of discovering Lyme disease and mold illness and chronic inflammatory response syndrome and mast cell activation syndrome and all the things, POTS. But it all started with the ears and the pressure in the ears and the head. And so I had an MRI recently, or no, a CAT scan, and it determined that there were some things going on in there. So now I need an MRI, but just waiting because the Italian system is kind of slow. That's fine. But it just feels like things are coming to an end. And like we've finally arrived at such a beautiful, beautiful place. And what I was also being confronted with in the podcast is just like, it's time more and more to step into the role the version of me that I want to be. And that means every time we do that and go through a season of transitioning into that more and more, the version of us that we're being called to, we also have to let go of some things. And so, not that I have much to let go of physically, because I gave up a lot to move to Europe, like almost all my stuff, like 90% of my stuff, I don't know, maybe 99% of my stuff, like down to 2 suitcases. Energetically, we can let go of a lot of things. Beliefs, we can let go of a lot of things. It's really important to note that even if you're on a spiritual journey and you've been doing the work for so long, you will always, always, always have more and more and more to go deeper. And if you don't, then you've just like, I don't know, you've ascended. You've gone on to the other side. But here in this human experience, there's always going to be opportunity to learn and to grow more and more and more. I think I have escaped from the visitor. I love having so many people around. If you guys saw the other day on my Instagram, I'm pretty active on my stories there at least. I accidentally drove my van into a ditch on my way to Florence, which was interesting. I was like, am I not meant to go? But it also feels like there's kind of like this darker energy that holds me back that I've been working through as well with my therapist, which is really cool that we can do that together. And so I did some clearing on that and whatnot, but it was just funny. The neighbor had to come over with his tractor and pull me out, and all of the people here, all the volunteers and people who live here were there helping. And it's so nice to have community. We've talked about that, and I want to talk about that more and more and more, is community living. It's like the way of the future. I think a lot of people are moving towards community living or getting interested in it. It's a beautiful thing. It's an intense thing. There are different worlds. Like every time new people come, it's a completely different world, different ecosystem. And it's what we're moving towards is really harnessing that and nurturing that and inviting the people that we know will benefit the community, and asking the people to leave who are not benefiting the community, who are not trying and willing to be healed. Because it's one thing if you come here and you're hurting the community and you want to be healed and you want to change, and it's another if you don't and you want to just make other people's lives miserable. So my video the other day, it was, you don't have to work in the new earth. And one of the comments, I'm still responding to those. I said I would respond to all the comments, but there's been more comments than normal. And I've also been traveling. So I will. Just give me some time, please and thank you. So one of the comments was like, don't say this, like, this is misleading, and like people will quit their job and then it won't work out. And that is true. That is very true. And that's why I try and be very clear, like all my offerings and everything is about this specific topic. We have to decondition the mind to be able to live the life that we want. We have to let go to have space in order to call in the next thing. And so if you quit your 9-to-5 job and you're like, I'm free, abundance come to me, but you still have underlying patterns that are telling you that you are not worthy, that you cannot make money, that it is not safe, that you are incapable of working for yourself and making money the way that you want to be making money, and that, you know, you have to work hard and money doesn't grow on trees and all the typical like money beliefs that we've been ingrained with. If you don't face those, truly face those and bring the light through those and rewire those, then that will be your manifesto for what you create as your reality. Your beliefs and your patterns within your mind are what shapes your perceived reality. So you have to start there. When I quit my job, I don't recommend you just quit your job and not have another branch to swing to, but I was divinely guided to that. I was like, this is where I've been backed up into a corner. It is what I have to do. I know it for certain. Like within my being, I had developed this system of going within my heart and having this language in there. And I was like getting all the very clear communication, like, yes, this is the answer. And that's what 21 Days to Know Your Divine Guidance is all about, is going into that space and getting those same answers. And so I was like, okay, I'm supposed to quit my job. And I was like, if I quit my job, my job now is to decondition my mind. Every single day I will wake up and I will say, I do not work for money. I have a lot of money coming in. I work for purpose and my mission, and for fun and pleasure. And thank you. And so it is. And that is the case. I don't work for money right now. I just make my videos. I make my programs. They sell whenever they want. My videos make money. I get donations from you guys. Thank you so much. They mean the world to me. I get to work with animals here on the farm. I get to travel. I get to do what I want. And it all is very fluid, right? It's all incredibly amazing. And then I'll have sessions one-on-one with people, and in those sessions we go deep, and I get to have this beautiful connection and experience with another human where we mirror to each other different things and could go deeper into existence. And so it's this wonderful reality that I got to create, but only because I made it my job to decondition my mind. And so if you quit your job, or if you're getting ready to quit your job, or if you're going to keep your job and you're trying to move towards the thing that you really want to be doing, make it your mission every single day. Practice for hours a day if you can to visualize what it's like, because sometimes, oftentimes, almost every time, the unfamiliar is deemed unsafe. The subconscious doesn't know what's happening in the unfamiliar, and so it will say, this is not safe. We cannot go here. And it will make realities and situations and dynamics and scenarios of why it's not safe to go towards that thing. And that will be your perceived reality. A bill might come up out of nowhere. You might, have someone get sick and you have to stay with them. Like different manifestations, different realities. There are infinite parallel realities happening right now. And so there are so many different potentials of what could be happening in your reality. And it will all be dependent on your subconscious, your beliefs, your field. And so when you change your field, you change matter. And so really focus there. You can't just leap and be like, I leaped. What's going to happen? You can, and that's fun. But that's where the shadow work comes in. And so if you don't do the inner work first, which is completely fine, because you can't do all of it. Like I did a lot of it to the point where I could be making money and traveling the world and doing what I want, but there's still shadow work. There's still this bipolar person who, lied to me and convinced me of a different reality that was not the actual reality. And I still was, heartbroken in ways because I had to let this person go out of my life. And I just I was like, whoa, that blindsided me. But I also have a past history of narcissism in my life and attracting people like that. And so it was something that I needed to see. The situation with people here on the farm recently, a few months ago, where it was just a manifestation of something that was happening in my childhood. It was an exact representation dynamic of one of my parents and what they were doing and how they would treat me and how they would talk to me. And these people were acting just like that for me so that I could see the pattern clearly. So I was moving through the shadow stuff that was still in my being. I was moving through the icky parts of myself that were still in my being. And because I was moving through those, I was like, oh, this is so hard and exhausting, and I feel like I'm in a tornado. But my therapist was actually very, very helpful. Like having a therapist or a guide, I think is very, very important, or a coach. Shameless plug. And so I was in this tornado, and I was, moving through these icky parts of myself. And while I was in that, you're facing these darker parts, you have to be honest about these darker parts of yourself and what you do to survive and what you did to survive when you were younger, and those patterns that were ingrained within your subconscious from those experiences. And because I was facing those icky parts of myself, and I was also, you know, having this other reality where I'm leading and I'm coaching and I'm making videos and I'm making courses, but I'm also working through my shadow side. I was like, oh my gosh, am I a phony? But I'm not at all. We just have to be honest. If you cannot look at your shadow side, if you are just like, I'm light and love and I'm perfect and I'm the angels resurrected on earth and come follow me, like, don't trust those people. So when I was listening to these podcasts on the way back, I was very confronted. I was like, it's time to step up again. Now that you've moved through the darkness, you're ready to step up again in your fullness. And that's a beautiful thing. And it's a confronting thing. And so if you're ready for a change in your life, you have to be ready to change. You have to be ready to face those parts of yourself that are icky, that are uncomfortable. You have to be honest about those patterns that are not so great, that have not been serving you for your highest good anymore, that are holding you back from your highest potential. It is very possible, but only you can do it. So I will leave you with that. I gotta go feed the horses. Back on the schedule of feeding the horses, which is nice. I asked to be back on the schedule because I miss the horses. I miss feeding them. I still ride them and everything, but I was taken off the feeding schedule a while ago so that I could just focus on media stuff and marketing stuff, and that's wonderful, and I love doing that. That's one of my skills. But it's really nice just to do a skill, a thing, a task that can be completed right when you're done with it. Like, you feed the horses and they have been fed. You make a fundraiser, you still gotta market it, you still gotta see it through. Once the fundraiser's done, then you probably are, you know, for us, saving the horse. And so then we have the horse then to save, and then we have to raise money to continue to save the horse and continue to care for the horse. So that's a more extended project. It's nice to have some little tasks that you can complete as well, because those little things, just like making your bed, it's like a success. We want to feel little successes, big successes. It's a beautiful thing of life. All right, I am going to go feed the horses. I was going to have a date tonight, but he was 2 hours away, so he said he won't make it, and I'm deciding how I feel about that. I can tell he's very sorry, so I think I do forgive. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here, leave a comment if you feel called to do so. If you don't know what to say, this actually would be very, very helpful. Please tell me what you want to see more of, what you want me to talk more about. Let me know in the comments below. If you commented on my last video, I will go over there and continue responding. And I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Wish me luck with the wolves. People in the group chat are joking about how I'm gonna develop this new identity of dancing and running with wolves, and I could so see it. Like, if the wolf wanted to bond, I'm ready. I accept. All right, love you guys. Bye.